Hey, good evening, CoachingU4U family and friends. Thanks for joining us this evening. I appreciate your time and I hope you'll be inspired. One of the things we ask here at CoachingU4U is to put all of our business in the streets, tell everybody about us. You can see us everywhere podcasts are Facebook, as well as Facebook and YouTube. Come on out on Wednesdays at 8:05 and join in with us. Tonight, my topic is simple. It's my bad for tripping on you. And I want to preface that with I'm going to get into work, I'm going to get into family a little bit, and I'm going to get into friends, relationships across the board. But I want to preface this with telling you this is my experience, my lessons, and my blessings. Not what I heard, not what I think, not what I saw in others, but exactly what I have experienced. And my bad for tripping on you is a great topic because at work, I want to start there. I was distracted so many times by so many things. All of us experience some trauma. I think for me, the biggest trauma was the lack of solidarity and racial disparity in terms of equal and fair opportunity for all. And somebody posted today, I can't hear you when you're not looking at me. And I accept that to simply mean when your back is turned to me and you're talking, it's real difficult to hear what you're saying and or to understand it. So in prefacing that, I want to tell you that it is everybody wants to be successful in the things that they do. Everybody. I don't think anybody sets out to do anything and fail. What I can tell you for sure is this. Success is not for the weak. It is not. Because with success comes a measure of responsibility and balance that can sometimes be hard to achieve. And so, my bad for tripping on you at work. When I misunderstood your intentions, when I couldn't provide everything you wanted, when I wasn't able to promote you for your lack of participation and commitment to the job. I had a difficult time with that. And I had a difficult time with that because I wanted so desperately for everybody, I don't care who you were, to have a fair and equal opportunity. So, my bad for tripping on you. If it appeared to you in my executive role that I wasn't able to give you everything you wanted, that is not only impossible, however, I worked to give you more than you could reach for on many occasions. And there is some responsibility on employees in situations like that. When you're at the top of the ladder, you got to watch your mind, your tongue, your spirit, your body movement. You have to watch everything because people so easily misinterpret who and what you are and what your intentions are. But I can tell you this, if you do the right thing, even when nobody's looking, it makes it a whole lot easier. So, although at times it may seem as if the boss doesn't care, they do. It's just that there has to be some shield between your spears and your unhappiness and getting the job done. There has to be some balance in that. So, as much as I might work for you, you have to work for me too. And that's the way it goes. And supervision or directorships are not the same as an executive. There's a different level of responsibility there. And for those of you who think you want it, for those who think you know about it, I would only encourage you from my 14, 15, 16 years of experience in it that you go get some experience and learn. Some of it you're going to have to learn the hard way. My bad for tripping on you when I didn't quite understand. My bad for tripping on you when I couldn't get it just right for you. My bad for tripping on you, because there are times when I felt like you wanted more than I could give. So I'm sharing my experience as an executive. It was fun. I learned a lot. I did a lot. I kept the commitment to pull people up and in, and everybody didn't like that. And for those who didn't, my bad for spending time tripping on you and trying to help you see how important it was to give other people an opportunity. If you didn't understand that from the gate, you weren't going to get it from me explaining it to you. So my bad for tripping on you and thinking that I could help you understand that when you were already in a director's position or a position of supervision. My bad for tripping on you. I wanted more than you could give. I wanted opportunity and hope for everybody, not just somebody's, everybody. And I wanted to level the playing field. And let me tell you something. If you're interested in supervision or being in an executive role, that's going to make a lot of people angry, because a lot of people, and it doesn't matter who they are and what they look like, have a sense of entitlement that is usually very unreasonable. So at work, my bad for tripping on you. I didn't get it 100%. I wasn't perfect, but I know I was amazing in it. I did some phenomenal things. I kept my commitment to lift others up, and the proof is still there in the pudding. My bad for not understanding when my energy was lagging, that I was trying to give too much. When I wasn't at the top of my game, my bad for tripping on you, because I was expending my energy in the wrong places sometimes. And listen, everybody doesn't have the same experience. This is my experience. My bad for tripping on you when I couldn't meet my goals, because there were times when I felt overwhelmed. And so every executive needs a coach. Every department head needs a coach. Every supervisor needs a coach, because the higher you move up the ladder, the more an unbiased, educated, experienced ear you will need, so that you're not functioning in your own madness. And I did say madness because there are times when you're at the top of the ladder and you have some of that success that you want, that you start to go off the trail, I should say, because you get mixed up in things that don't matter. Remember that. My bad for tripping on you. My bad for not keeping the main thing. And that was to continuously provide, even in difficult times, even during disagreements. My bad for tripping and trying to make you understand, or help you understand, or bring you to the table so that you had a seat at the table when that's not what you were ready for. My bad for tripping on you. But I did have the opportunity to learn a lot from the people I work with. And I want to thank you for that. It wasn't always a trip. Sometimes there was really, really good energy. With family and friends, my bad for tripping on you. One of the biggest issues for me is loyalty. And I want to boost you up today, and I want to give you some inspiration. It is loyalty. And when and where people failed in that, I may have responded far too harshly because it's so dear to me. My bad for tripping on you when my energy was in the wrong place. I learned from that. And I'm sharing my experience tonight as an executive, as a family member, as a friend, and as a woman after having been widowed, getting into a relationship. I'm sharing my experience. And I'm sharing my experience because I think it's so important for people to understand that we trip about so many things that don't matter. We focus on trying to convince people that the opportunity and the hope is there. But if they can't see it, there is no convincing them. If a person is ready for, let's talk about family and friends. If people are really ready for friendships, and even in your family, you have to be friends. You won't always get along. And I'll tell you right now, all family is not by blood. There are some family members you meet as you travel the path of life, and they'll be some of the best family members you'll ever have. Don't stop loving your blood relatives, but know when and where to draw your boundaries. My bad for tripping in those relationships because there was times when I didn't understand that. I'm a much better person now and I understand a whole lot more, but it's because of experience. Some of us speak as if we've always been there. We never tripped about anything and we were perfect in everything. So here's my disclaimer, that's not me. It is my experience that brought me exactly where I am today, and I share that often. And so I had to learn, to not always work in it alone. That in friendships and in relationships, there has to be some form of reciprocity in friendships and even with family. Folks got to be willing to meet you halfway or some part of the way that can make the connection happen when and where there are misunderstandings. And I know some of you have perfect families. I don't. I have an amazing family, but they're far from perfect, as am I. Amazing, but not perfect. Give yourself a break. Don't fight too hard to be the one to make the connection. Fight to be open to the connection. That's the bigger battle. To be open to a connection or reconnection when you've had difficulty with family or friends. And family can be extremely difficult, as can friends. But when there's an honest desire to reconnect, you have to open your mind to it first. And then relationships. And this is important because I talk about my experience all the time. And again, I didn't have a perfect marriage. I had a successful one for many years. And together we grew in that relationship. We didn't come to the relationship with perfection. We came to the relationship with an honest desire to connect and build. And that was the most important thing for us. And in every relationship with me, a personal relationship with my lover or friend, I want the ability to connect. And it's important to understand that all relationships require work. There's no perfect relationships. I don't care how good they look on the outside. There's no perfect relationships. But there are relationships that make progress. And that's what I respect. I don't know it all. You don't have to know it all. But when we're sharing, I want your experience. And there are times when I want your thoughts. But when I'm struggling, I need experience. I need lessons and blessings. I need to know how you went through it and how you got through it. That's what works for me. And so today, I just want to tell you that there are many times in my life when I was tripping. My bad for tripping on you or it. People, places, or things. My bad for tripping. I've learned. And the biggest lesson and blessing for me is that I'm going to continue to learn. My learning is not going to stop. It is not a destination, it is a journey. And I know that I'll trip again about some things, but here's the difference. I have some experience to look back on in a lot of those areas where I made mistakes. And I've grown from them. And as a result of growing, I'm much more peaceful in my life at this time. And actually, for the past 15 years, I'm just much more peaceful. And those 15 years were a process of learning lessons and blessings. And I'm grateful for them. And I want to tell you, I don't care where you are and what you're going through. There'll be times when you're going to trip about things. It's okay. Just open your mind to the possibility of stepping back and re examining who you are, where you came from, and what your strengths and weaknesses are. I know my strengths and weaknesses in a way that I've never known them, and that comes with time. And so, trust yourself. Trust yourself. Recognize and respect boundaries, even your own, in dealing with others. You have to respect other people's boundaries, but you have to respect yours as well. And so it's been a wonderful learning experience for me. I am at a place in time in my life that I wish each of you will have the opportunity to get to in retirement. It's a whole new world. I talk about that often too, because, I was tripping about retirement. Oh, am I going to be bored? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And I'm doing things I never thought I'd do. I'm going places I never thought I'd go. And that's even in all of my prior travel and experience. Retirement brought something new because it freed my mind. So I would tell each of you, free your mind. You're going to trip every now and then. Recognize when you're tripping, step back, give yourself a break, exhale and breathe. We all eventually get to it and we get through it. I want to thank you again for joining me tonight. I'm your host here at CoachingU4U, Annette Lartigue, and it's real good to be with you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your effort. A shout out to every man out there who is participating in his child's life, not from a distance, but up close and personal. I salute you. Coaching you for you, Annette Lartigue here. Have a wonderful evening.